President Trump has been downplaying the trade war with China, but some economists fear the high-stakes standoff could trigger a global Cold War. Chinese President Xi Jinping declared yesterday that Beijing is ready to fight a protracted battle, and that could have an adverse effect on dozens of nations that do business with the two economic powerhouses. But despite the dire outlook, China's ambassador to the U.S. told Fox News earlier tonight there's still hope.
China remains ready to continue our talks with our American colleagues to reach a conclusion. Our door is still open.
Oh, that's lovely. I don't believe a word he says, though. Will the trade war continue to escalate, or is it time for the two nations to give peace a chance, man? Yeah. Here with me now, former White House Communications Director and Skybridge Capital founder, Anthony Scaramucci. Welcome back.
It's great to be back.
So nice to have you.
You don't trust them?
No, I don't trust them where they say, because they say one thing in the state-run newspapers and then another in a convenient marketplace like Fox News.
Well, I mean, listen, they have to get a deal. I mean, so this is one of those things where I'm hoping that the rational players and the rational minds come together. Both parties actually would benefit from a deal. It'd be good for the global economy. It would be good for both parties to reset some of the imbalances, if you will. So I'd be very, very surprised if they don't get a deal done by the end of the summer. And so that's where
they had a deal, though. I mean, they were so close. Why are the Chinese? Why did they pull back when it was so far negotiated? Does it show how important IP theft is to them?
No, I think it's more cultural. I think at the end of the day, if you really understand doing business with China, they are traders by nature, and so they don't view it as a going back on the deal sort of thing. They view it as part of the negotiation. And so they went to the 2-inch line and then they pulled back. And so, you have to applaud the president for holding tough and saying, okay, if you're going to do that, we're going to go in a different direction. I'm very thankful.
I think there are a lot of farmers who are going to start applauding the president with two birds flying.
Yeah, well, that's already happening. But, I mean, he's obviously going to try to give them some relief, through regulatory, federal relief. But I think that would be a disaster as well. But listen, here's what I think. The market's certainly signaling that there's a deal here, hopefully by the end of the summer. If there's no deal by the end of the summer and they do go into a protracted...
Xi Jinping is talking about the Long March.
And he's talking about the People's Trade War.
Yes.
So he's trying to rally the universe there. And you and I both know they starved 60 million people in China 50 years ago. And they don't have elections. And so they could turn on a dime there if they want to, but I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, they're long-term rationalists, and a long-term rational player here would get a deal done in this situation.
Yeah, but he's saying
the president's a long-term rationalist too.
Yes, the Chinese ambassador is saying our door is still open, but at the same time, they're saying the U.S. is bullying us. So which is it?
Well, it's probably a little bit of both, but here's the thing, Kennedy.
Do you think they're being bullied? Do you think China's being bullied?
Well, I think the president is pushing them very hard to buy more goods to close that $500 billion trade deficit.
Yeah.
And so he wants more raw material bought. He wants more of our products bought. He wants more things made here in the United States, which would obviously also have that reduction effect. And so you have to applaud the president. You have to also remember he's trying to correct 40 years of trade imbalances. If you really want to go back to the 70s, we were propping up China and supporting them because we wanted their help against the Soviet Union. And so now that took on a life of its own as China started to develop into an emerging economy. And now today it's the second largest economy in the world. And so the president's just trying to get them into the world today where they deserve to be, which is a fully developed nation, second largest economy in the world.
That's fine. They can have a big economy. Big economies are great. And open trade between nations and between individuals and between companies is fantastic. What isn't good is their IP theft. And I think when we focus too much on the trade deficit and take our eye off that IP theft ball, that's when we can really do some
But it's also tariff imbalances. So if you look at the
How do you convince American companies not to give in to their demands?
Well, it's hard for the smaller businesses. I mean, the larger businesses can hold their own.
But they're not holding their own.
I was pointing out the other day, my cousin is in the auto glass space, sole proprietor. There are certain windshields that are only made in China, and so he's paying the freight. Last month's tariff for him was $10,000 that month. If the president ratchets it up, it'll go to $30,000. And that'll cripple his business. And so The consumer is paying the tariff. Larry Kudlow did admit that.
Yeah, it's a tax.
It's not a great thing for the United States. So, there's tension there. But again, I think they're rational players. The Chinese have a tendency to retrade at the last minute, part of their culture. But I don't think that they want to go into a protracted trade war despite the rhetoric.
I don't think they can afford it. I think it puts both countries. And
exactly.
Do you agree with Morgan Stanley's global economist chief economist who says that there could be a global recession if this is protracted?
Yeah, and you'll lose 6% on corporate profits too. Goldman Sachs said that last week. So listen, I don't think it's going to happen. The market doesn't think it's going to happen. I'm 30 years in the market. I was only 11 days in the White House, but 30 years in the market. And let me tell you something. Anything that you think can't happen in the market can happen. And so, we're running $12 billion.
Well, my cannabis stocks come back.
Your cannabis stocks will likely come back.
Look at that. Anthony Scaramucci, full of good news.
They may not get to the same high level that they once were, okay? Given that they're cannabis, but they may come back. But here's the thing.
As long as there's a green rush.
I think the president is, by and large, sometimes blustered on Twitter, but he's always acted rationally in a situation like this, and so I predict a rational outcome.
All right. Well, we will see. Anthony Scaramucci, nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Prepare for anything, though.
I'm always prepared. I'm an economic survivalist, by gum.